let's jump right into it. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have your PlayStation 4 controller plugged into your PC. You can do this over wireless or Bluetooth. Whatever method you want to use to connect your controller is just fine. Once this is done, we're going to be coming to this link. Links are always in the description down below. And this link is going to be for the Gamepad Viewer website. Now we're going to be using this step out to do everything. Let's jump right into this. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have your PlayStation 4 controller plugged into your PC. You can do this over wireless or Bluetooth. Whatever method you want to use to connect your controller is just fine. Once this is done, we're going to be coming to this link. Links are always in the description down below. And this link is going to be for the Gamepad Viewer website. Now we're going to be using this to grab all the information from our controller to have it highlighted and show up.
Sorry guys, I can't come to lunch. I blew all my money on this gaming rig.
Did you use honey? You could have saved like so much money.
Highlighted and show up in our OBS. So once you're here, the first thing you want to do is press a couple buttons on your controller and make sure it's fully connected. From here, you want to come to the currently viewing option at the top of the website and to have it highlighted and show up in our OBS. So once you're here, the first thing you want to do is press a couple buttons on your controller and make sure it's fully connected. From here, you want to come to the currently viewing option at the top of the website, and we're going to be selecting player 1. And then we're going to be coming to the right beside our player, and we're going to be dragging down, and we're going to be selecting our PS4 controller. Now with this, you're going to have two options of the PS4 and then the PS4 white. In this case, I'm going to be choosing the white, as it has a nice contrast with red and white. But of course, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have a PS4 controller. Now with this, you're going to have two options of the PS4 and then the PS4 white. In this case, I'm going to be choosing the white, as it has a nice contrast with red and white. But of course, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the color of your controller. It will work for pretty much anything on here. But as you can see right now, even when I'm pressing buttons and playing around with the analog stick, everything is working just fine. It's already being picked up. But of course, we can change a couple of settings with this, just in case you're coming into some errors. So what I want to do is click on the burger menu over here on the left. And we're going to be opening up the info box right here. Now this is going to open up a secondary box where we're going to get some more controls over this. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the remap buttons. And by coming here, we're going to be able to see all currently mapped buttons. So what I want to do is come to the please select controller you're using. We're going to be selecting this down and we're going to be selecting player 1. If you want to add a new button mapping, you can do all that here. I'm not going to be getting into this too much. Mine worked perfectly well. But if you want to change anything, you can do that right here. In case you're not using an official controller or you're getting some errors, you can change all that here. The next thing we're going to be looking at is adopting a skin. Now, thankfully with this website, you can also get some extra skins for your controllers, which is really nice. They do let you rent them out for a bit, but they do recommend that you pay over time or you donate to actually get and own the skin. Of course, that's up to you, but if you're going to be using this a lot, I'd recommend doing it to support the creators. This is really easy to set up and it works really, really well. And then finally, we're going to be closing this down. There's one more thing you can do. If we come up here beside the controller select option, we can see this color wheel here in the background. If we click this open, we're going to be able to choose the color of the background of our controller. So in this case, I'm going to be choosing this limey green color. Click OK, and then you can see you change the color in the background right here. It doesn't really affect too much. When I bring it into OBS, it's going to be blank in the background, but it is something you can play around with if you're going to be using it like that. But once you're happy with all your controller settings, you have everything mapped, and you have the color in the background, we're going to be coming back to our burger menu. We're going to be coming to the info option one more time, and we're going to be coming to the generate URL. Now this is where we're actually going to be able to interact with OBS by using this URL right here, but we're also going to get some extra more refined settings if you want to play around with some more things. You can select the controller you wish. You can change the skin as well if you want. I'll double check just to make sure it's PlayStation 4 here. And once you're happy with all your settings, everything will change in this URL automatically. All you want to do is click on the URL and it will automatically be copied on your PC. From here, all you want to do is open up your version of OBS. We're going to be selecting whatever scene you want to apply this to. I've created a brand new blank scene here called custom controller. And now we're going to be adding a new browser source. To do this, come to your sources tab right here. Click the plus on the bottom and click browser. From here, you can give this a name if you wish. I'm going to be naming a controller. Click enter, and then you're going to be changing this URL path here to the URL we just copied from the Gamepad Viewer website. You can change the height and width if you wish to change it. I'd recommend changing the height and width here if you're going to have it at a specific size, as dragging the red boxes on the background in our actual window is going to stretch and scale and add some pixelation. Set the FPS. I'd recommend setting this to whatever you're going to be recording or streaming at. So in my case, I'm going to be recording at 60 frames, so I'm going to be putting it to 60. And then finally, you can add some CSS and some more options down here. I wouldn't recommend playing around with the CSS unless you really know what you're doing. and the other two I wouldn't really recommend doing anything with. Click OK and then your controller should come up as disconnected. Don't worry, this is perfectly normal. All you want to do to reconnect it is press any button on your controller and it will automatically be added back here. And if we press some buttons, they will automatically come up. Now you may notice some delay with this. If you do, you can change around with the settings in OBS to play around with some delays. But for me, it was very minuscule and it didn't bother me too much. It's not actually going to delay the input. It's just going to delay the reconnection to OBS. So the controller is not going to be affected in that case. And one more thing I should mention is you should leave the browser open in the background. You shouldn't minimize the browser, you shouldn't close it down. Keep the browser open in the background to make sure this connection is going to work. It is really necessary to keep that open, otherwise this might give you some errors. But anyway guys, it's that easy to add a live active controller to your OBS. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I'm going to leave my PayPal down below. I make all these videos for free. I work full time. I put a lot of work into these videos. So if you enjoyed them and want me to keep making videos, be sure to hit that donation key down below and check it out. But anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. If